Hello, everybody. I've been missing in action for about a week, and we're back. That's right, I'm back in the lab, and I've had family issues, so of course I could not make it. But once again, you know we're back, and welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Danger Americans. That's right, USA. That is exactly it, you citizens. You are going to need help financially. There's just no way around it, unless, of course, you're prepared. But you will be on your own because you guys know what's coming next. Nobody is coming to save you. So now you're going to have to be the CEO of your life because otherwise, good luck in the future. We have plans that you can do to make sure that you're not going to be on that slab, on that life support, because without money in America going forward, you are going to be in a very, very bad position. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information, who needs a little bit of help. But number one, are you paying attention to the stock market? We have to start with that. Number two, you're here. You may need a little bit of help. So where do you go? You go to findhelp.org. If you can't hear me, findhelp.org. Everybody on podcast channels, findhelp.org. Okay? Put in your zip code, Americans. There's help available to American citizens. It may dwindle as each year goes by, but nonetheless, there's help. And some of it costs and some of it doesn't. You have to make the phone calls. You got to talk to the nonprofit organizations to find out what they can help you with. Put in your zip code. You'll see what's available in your area. Food assistance, number one. Medical care is number two. Caregiving could be in the top 10, but there's more. Job training. But danger, Americans, if you're not in the stock market where the top 10% own 93% of it, then you're making a huge mistake. Regardless of what happens, it goes up, it goes down. And sometimes it goes down a lot. Are you prepared? Because all signals say it should have a, I don't really like using the word crash, but let's call it what it is. That's what all the metrics are saying. When you have 1.6 million jobs being lost by layoffs every month this year, that's a lot of people. When you're approaching the 2008 and 2009 job loss numbers, it could be that 2025 beats those two. It's already in third place. For 2025 is in third place. After the next numbers come out, they could move to pretty close to tie 2008, 2009 levels. But it doesn't feel that way if you're in the stock market, does it? All-time record highs just keep happening and happening. There's a reason. These billion-dollar or trillion-dollar companies are buying back their own stocks. That tends to make stocks go up. And your government is giving subsidies and tax cuts and tax breaks, so more money funnels in. So you understand it's a self-manufactured situation until it isn't. So you're going to have to protect yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Danger in America means the bulk of citizens are going to have a rough time, and they don't even know it. But I'm very, very happy you're here. And once again, I'm sorry that I missed last week. But remember, stay vigilant. Let people know. And I will be dropping some videos over the next day. So I will bring you the receipts so you can see them. I've done it on the live streams before. Check the last live stream, which is seemingly probably about a week ago. And you will see I brought receipts with numbers so people understand what's crumbling right underneath your feet. And only those with money are going to be able to survive or who have assets. So that's what we want you to get, assets. First things first, make sure down below in the description box, after and during the live stream, because I'm going to add it right now, findhelp.org is the first thing for those that need assistance. Even food assistance is there as well. So again, we know 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck during the month. We know there's people that still here in America in denial, saying things like prices are cheaper, gas is cheaper. If you want to be delusional, that's fine. But what you don't understand is inflation still hurts you, regardless if you think things are cheaper or they cost more. So, findhelp.org is your first thing. Now, there's something else too that rears its ugly head. Because people are living paycheck to paycheck, then you know what's happening next, right? You know what's happening next. That means people are using their credit cards to buy food and essentials. So if you know that there's all-time credit card debt, sooner or later, there's going to be a liquidity credit problem. You're not going to be able to call up and say, hey, I need a credit line increase. You're going to tap out. Then you're going to need some way to pay it back. And if you don't have a way to pay it back because you got laid off recently or your corporation went out of business, filed bankruptcy, what you will be in a very, very bad position, Americans, USA citizens. So you don't need to keep playing with yourself. We have a large percentage of the population that is making no plans. They're just sitting here going, well, it'll be okay. Can you imagine being the CEO and you get all these numbers coming in talking about, hey, our revenue this year, we lost 50% of revenue. 75% of our profit is gone, and be like, everything's going to be okay. And here's all the numbers. Each head of department says we had to lay people off as one department. Our machinery is too old and it's breaking down, so it's costing us all this money. We had a tariff situation occur for us, so now we have to spend more money for our goods. You would not in that boardroom listen to a CEO or anybody else say, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. The meeting's over. Everything will be fine. See, this is the problem. Because Americans think everything's fine because it's been fine in the past. They don't recognize when things aren't fine and when there's a rogue nation that's off the rails, that is in total disregard for financial situations. We are now spending $2 trillion this year that we don't have. We're $40 trillion in the hole. Interest only payments for the United States is $1 trillion. Interest only. And we're printing more money, and they had liquidity problems last week. That's right. Do you know what happened in 2007, 2008 when there was liquidity problems? So if you think you're going to be immune and your credit card doesn't work, your ATM card doesn't work, you can't get insurance. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And there's no food in the cupboards and no money in the bank. What's that going to lead to? All right, enough of me talking about. Let me hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I've been on another screen. So I got to put this in because, I got to get things straight for everybody. We want to get you the findhelp.org. And some people need mental health, so that's there too. Caregiving help, that's there too. So I'm going to put it in the chat room, and I'm going to start putting it down below in the description box. All right. We got post-retirement travel is here. I've been waiting on the worldwide tour in 2025. That's right, Mr. Worldwide's here. The investor is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we do. We try to help you, ladies and gentlemen. You're supposed to bring the pen, the pad, the paper, whatever, your phone, your recording devices, whatever you need, because you need to do research. We can't have you out here losing. And I want to thank Post Retirement Travel for becoming a member of the channel. Once again, I greatly appreciate that. And members of the channel, I released a video and it was members only, so they saw it before everybody else. That's one of the little perks that they get amongst a few others. But thank you so much for being here. Stock market roaring back. That's exactly right. Buckle up and keep buying. That is why you cannot sit there and look at Bitcoin at 83, 82,000 and not buy after it was all the way up to 126. That is a huge pullback, and it still was in the 80s this morning. 86,000. People were calling for a crash. Well, 30% is a crash normally. So I guess they would be right to call it a crash. But see, did you take advantage of it, ladies and gentlemen? That's the $1,000,000 question. Some of you probably sat on the sidelines and said, it's just crypto. Well, I have a lot to talk about regarding that. And the first thing, because I need this stock market roaring back. We need this to occur. And I need you to go in and get your unstoppable domain. There's going to be a Black Friday special. Some people are like, Eric, what's that got to do with crypto? Well, this is what it has to do with crypto, because I was explaining to people that there's a crypto debit card that came out and it does not have KYC and it does work on the Visa network. Now, some people say, okay, Eric, I get it, but maybe you don't get it because you do understand that crypto is anonymous, first of all. The only reason it's not anonymous is because we live in a state, a country that is now trying to check on everybody's income a little more diligently. So they make it so you have to have exchanges that are regulated. In countries that do not have regulated exchanges, then it's just a simple send somebody crypto, translate your fiat into crypto, no biggie, and you send it. Government says, it's your stuff if you want to risk it. But see, that's just the thing. Unstoppable domain. I'm going to put it in the chat. I think I got it. Let me see. Yes. There's a link to Unstoppable Domain. The reason why I fervently say get into it is because $5, $10, $15 one time. There's no annual fees. ssnlifestyle.crypto. Stopstrugglingnow.crypto. ericbird.nft, ericbird.crypto. Guess what? Those are my cryptos. You can send me the top 400 cryptos to any of those addresses. No alphanumeric characters needed. And you know what else? Speaking of anonymous, if I send somebody something and I put in the chat room Unstoppable Domain link, Black Friday is usually now. It should be starting. I haven't even looked, but sometimes you can buy them for $10, two for 10, two for 20. They have all kind of crazy things during Black Friday. But the thing I'm trying to point out is I personally, when a government starts to have financial problems, they do one thing. They start taking money from their citizens. How can they do that? They can, anything that's regulated, they know where it is. So they can take it. Okay? Or close. In the Great Depression, it was a bank holiday. People showed up. They didn't have no money. They didn't have any food. They needed money. And they go to the bank. The bank says it's a bank holiday. Your money's locked. And you think it can't happen again because it's regulated. Just like your bank account can be hijacked anytime, your brokerage account can be hijacked anytime, your regulated crypto account can be hijacked anytime. That's why you have to have your own wallet, cold wallets, so they can't hijack it. Okay, just getting everybody on board. I may sound a little crazy, but it's okay. I want you guys to win. I want you guys to understand. You do not live where you think you live. You know what? In fact, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Did you know what the United States voted against at the nations? Treating people good without harm as a UN resolution. Can you believe the United States, Israel, and Argentina that voted against it? Are you kidding me right now? Do you know the country you live in? Well, we used to live in, because right now, look at this. This is what countries are doing right now. This is insane. Can you believe the United States voted against that? So now, when you're shooting at boats off in international waters off the coast of another country, what do you think's going to happen? Well, this right here is going to happen. Thank you to Brian P. for sending this out. But this is the type of stuff that should scare American citizens or citizens everywhere. And them doing what they did with this resolution is outrageous. All right, look at this. Two countries intensify, at least international, would start thinking. You're American. I So they're not talking about somebody attacking lived. All right. So now we're protecting not having money in a bank account. Maybe you guys are going to be like, I don't really care. Well, good. That's for your decision for you. But you should be very, very cautious right now. All right. I just had to show this so people aren't out here sleeping. You're thinking everything's fine. There could be in international waters other citizens from another country. And if that happened here in America, you guys would be bitching, just like 9/11 when the Saudi Arabian pilots ran into our building. American citizens on U.S. soil. You guys understand playing around with this type of situation is not very good. Want to chime? I mean, all kind of goodies, right? That's what you guys should be thinking about. Speaking of trust, you want to play with the big boys. Uh, Let me go see Unstoppable Domain. I haven't even been over there because I have a myriad of. And by the way, it's you can mint it to the blockchain, so nobody can take it from you. It's on a blockchain. They're free minting on Polygon network right now. But of course, you can always do some other things if you prefer. So you can have your children have their no, and it's a one-time pay. Excuse me, it's a one-time payment. I'm having a problem here. What's happening? Um, Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. I have a little problem. I'm trying to log over there to see what the Black Friday deal is because there's going to be one. So don't miss it. I would advise. Okay. What's this? Uh, Wait, what? Okay, I don't want to see nothing like this. Here it is. Wait, not .com. We don't care about .coms. Okay. So I'm going to put in let's see. Let's go with this. Let me see what if there's. I don't see any Black Fridays. They always have them, but just wait till Black Friday for sure. Oh, I see what they did. Yeah, don't fall for the .com, the .orgs, the .nets, and all that. All right, you want .nft, .x, .crypto, .bitcoin wallet, That's what you want. All right, .wallet, .polygon. Yes, there's no Black Friday. Applying to Icon 2026. No, we don't want that. Pudgy. Unstoppable is not applying to Icon. Exactly. They have started some sort of Icon registration, applying to become a new DNS in 2026. If it's set by Icon, the domain will have traditional domain functionality like native browser resolution, hosting websites, and email. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. But this better not be an annual fee. But nonetheless, if they start doing annual fees, that'd be very disappointing. But they have a ton. .clay, .t, which is weird. Don't that can't be. On chain is good. They have several. They're going into a whole nother level where some of these are going to be treated like .com and some are not. Now, I don't know what this is because my cryptos are now up to $40. Those used to be $5, $10, ladies and gentlemen. That's cool. NFTs are now $20. Those used to be $5 or $10 as well. So these things started going up in price. I love it. Polygon. So get yours now before it's too late. And if they're applying for the icon, that is good as long as we don't have to pay any fees. So I just want to let you guys know that's another opportunity for you. Don't be out here slipping because some of you have never had a bank take your money, and it's not the Great Depression and it's not the Great Recession. Some people had their money taken during the Great Recession, and that's why we talk about here to keep your duffel bag of cash somewhere. I'm not going to say where, but it should be in your brain. If you're going to have a duffel bag of cash, you need it someplace that's not available to you unless you go and get it. Okay? And I don't mean keeping it in a bank or even a brokerage account or any crypto account that is on a regulated exchange. All right, let's get you prepared. Now, let's do the other things we have to do, obviously, every live stream. We got to get you prepared for those of you who are in debt. There's a lot of people, all-time record high in credit card debt. So don't play. 8 out of 10 people, 7 out of 10, 70% of people in America don't have $1,000 in their bank account. Don't even try. 60% don't have $500 in their bank account. Okay? So don't try to play with me that you're not using credit, not paying those ridiculous fees. You need loan, debt resolution, debt reduction, and not mess up your credit. I've talked about this for the last 3 or 4 months. This is now imperative. This is a playbook of the rich, but you can do it too. All right? So listen up, everybody on the podcast, everybody that's just listening that does not have their pen, pad, and paper. This is why you need to email tracy.sharpe with an E at the end at moneyladder.com. TRACY dot S as in Sam, HRP as in Paul, E at moneyladder.com, all one word. Send her an email. Just say what your situation is. Let her know Eric, Familia, SSN Nation, stop struggling now. Whatever you want to say. Just say, he said, call you. I need help. Doesn't cost you anything. Email doesn't cost you anything. All right? Doesn't cost you anything. Okay, we already did the unstoppable domain, right? Here's the email. There you go. It'll be down below in the description box as well. So will the unstoppable domain info. All of this will be there for your downloading. Why be shy? All right. Danger, Americans. You need to figure also to do your own money making. It's all good when we're doing Airbnb. My Airbnb has been sucking. I'm just telling you the truth for over a year, over 2 years. Used to have a high rate, not so much anymore. People aren't normally, I don't have the usual 6-month out bookings. They have petered a bit, not a bit, a lot, where you would have 3, I would always have 3 or 4 units. Now 1 unit, somebody might book 6 months in advance. Now we're getting shorter and shorter time frames and less people. Naturally, because if 80% or more are living paycheck to paycheck, up from 70% 15 years ago or 60%, You can understand why there would be less travelers, right? That makes sense. Numbers don't lie. So, this is why you need to get your debt cleaned up while you can, because you have 1 year, 1 month left to get everything in order. Yes, I give you a runway, but I'm just letting you know right now, I expect an implosion. It's going to happen. It's just no way around it. Right now, we're inflating a big AI bubble. And you know where that leads. That leads to some sooner or later, a crash is going to occur. And so, therefore, you have to make a decision. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about making more money? You need to cut your debt in half, don't you? You need to build your credit. Once again, 775. That's where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we need you to be in 1 year, 1 month. So clear your decks right now. Instead of filing bankruptcy, instead of dealing with debt collections, letting it get into debt collections, then use Tracy. Hit her up. Their company negotiates to get your debt reduced and you make payments. And you don't have to pay that 30%, 35%, 25%. How about that deal? And on the other side, you can boost your credit up because it does take a year, year and a half, 2 years in some instances. But at least everything is in good standing. Your credit will be great. And the way they're doing things now, there's cards coming in the mail seemingly like every other freaking day. We'll give you 12 months interest only. We'll give you 18. We'll give you 21 months. We'll give you 24 months. I'm like, I should send back a message. I should call up. I should be saying, I'm waiting for the 36 months. 3 years interest only. Except for I got to pay the annual fee, of course. But interest only for 3 years at 0%. And so that's not even really interest only. It's 0%. So you can charge $5,000 and still pay a monthly payment on time, but not have a crazy interest rate. That's what you're shooting for. And actually, I'm using 775 as the number, but quite frankly, it doesn't even have to be that high. It could be like a 730 now or 720 now. Come on. It ain't that hard, but I'm giving you guys the other number because I want you to have the top notch credit opportunities. And that needs to be above 775. It's that simple. There will be a credit crunch, liquidity issues. All right. So boost your credits down below. You still haven't jumped in the stock market and got Robinhood, Webull, Moo Moo. Then you should. The links are down below in the description box as well. So there's no excuse. Now, what about real estate? Is anybody investing in real estate now? Are you guys going to buy anything? Let me know. I want to hear from you guys. Are you going to be buying? Because we need you to do recession proof. First of all, I'm hoping people understand that their home is pseudo kind of maybe asset, but I don't call it an asset here. In the SSN Nation, those are not assets, because if you live in your house and you don't have any other source that's paying for that house, then that's not an asset, because you're working to pay for that house. That means that's a liability, just like a credit card. And by the way, you don't own the house, because if you stop making payments, the bank is going to take it back, or whoever the lien holder is. So again, ownership is slightly skewed in America. Danger, Americans, because we are using terms that should not be used. You have a loan on a house, people call it I own the home. You have a loan on a car, you call it I own the car. And then you live paycheck to paycheck for pay for all this stuff. That doesn't sound like owning to me. Owning is like when you go down and buy a TV because they're so cheap and they're like $300, $400, whatever, and you use that. You didn't use credit, you just bought it. You own that. You went down and bought a car for $3,500. You own that. Now, what I just described are still liabilities because it doesn't make you money. We got to get to the money making part, right? So that means you have to invest in something. You have to have disposable income. So you're going to have disposable income to buy stocks, some other real estate that actually makes you money, or some business at bizbuysell.com, bizbuysell.com. Yeah, there's businesses there. There's some people willing to say, I'm out. I'm too old. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do it. Take over the payments and just give me a $3,000 to $5,000 per month. That's it. I'm going to go sit in the corner at the house playing with the grandkids. You can spend the 12 hours running this and we'll make a deal. There's all kind of things that are going on right now that you need to start thinking about how you're going to make these extra streams of revenue. Now, most people can do, hey, you can try to do YouTube. You can try to do all the other social media platforms. But just keep in mind, you're going to have to work extra. There's no free ride, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I got the Tracy there. Let's see what else. Post-retirement travel. Eric, are you deploying dynamic pricing with your Airbnbs? You manage them yourself, correct? Yes, I do. And I'm glad you brought that up because I have reduced prices. That's right. When we had this crazy thing happening in 2021, 2022, 2023, because of pandemic, prices almost doubled. We were making out like bandits. Now, because there are so many less people using the platform in America and in tourist locations, now I have had to reduce prices. It kind of gave an uptick, but no, traditionally I do dynamic pricing, but it's more like when I know there's events, I know when it's high season, that kind of thing. But I've been able to always go up. Now I'm having to adjust my prices down from standard fare in order to increase occupancy. That means less profit. That's not good. This is pretty weak. But again, if you have 1.6 million people getting laid off every month, it may not seem like a lot if you have 200 million people working, but 1.6 million is a lot. Those are the people that had livable wage jobs. That's not good. That's not good at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, EV Place is in the house. Welcome another investor to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream, EV Place. And he brings his tagline in. I humbly appreciate both EV Place and Post Retirement Travel for being a member of the channel. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Yes, we're doing well. We're back in the lab. We got stock market trading on my mind. That's right. I've been in the lab studying, ladies and gentlemen. And oh my, I have to talk mess. I'm getting good. All right. That's all I can say. I'm getting good. But thank you so much, EV Place, for being in the house. Very happy to see you. Hopefully everything's been going great for everybody. Post-retirement travel, EV Place. And now Brian P., Mr. Dividend, is in the house doing the salsa dance every Friday and Monday because he's a Yield Max ETF aficionado. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And yes, I did get the emails. And yes, I did show the one about another country is calling the United States a terrorist organization. They are halting their flights in their airspace because of America's threats. My, how the world is changing. And we're part of this as American citizens. I will only say one thing is because now that we have social media, now you understand sometimes why other countries may be a little on edge with the United States and have a vendetta. Okay? Brian P., his tagline, Happy Day, Eric. I hope all is well with you and your family. Thank you. Things are in a positive direction. Happy Day, SSN family. Smash that like button. Oh, how could I forget? Give it a one piece, ladies and gentlemen. Greatly appreciated. Now, I haven't talked in a while. My voice is a little weird. I've been talking a little different, but I appreciate everybody being here. Now, the stock market is roaring on the S&P 500s, all of them. I'm just going to caution everybody once again. This is the same type of thing that played in 2029. I mean, sorry, 1929, 1930. Tariffs, check. Roaring 20s. We had the roaring 20 teens. And the extended roaring into the 2022-2023 with stimulus checks, PPP loans, and all the rest, EIDL loans coming out in people's hands. You guys know what happened after those roarings and the tariffs. Isolationism is what they called it back then. They put up tariffs against the world, isolationism. So now that caused the rest of the world to bypass, same as now, and say, we're not going to buy from you guys. So good. Hope you're good with the layoffs because we're not ordering from you. So your citizens are going to be the only ones buying from you guys. Same similar thing. Except we weren't $40 trillion in debt. All right. Brian Pease here. He sends me emails, and I always showed him about the Venezuelan, where the United States is a threat. So the FAA has stopped flights over their own country just in case somebody shoots them down. America's going to shoot somebody down? Are you serious right now? Well, they feel that you blowing up people in the middle of our ocean near our country. I guess that would be a likely response. So I caution everybody, be careful out here. We have serious problems financially. And there's only one way you're going to cure this, and you better be making some of your own money. Crazy news, exactly. XRP plus 10% today, rebounds quicker than BTC, exactly. Bitcoin's going to take a little bit more to move than XRP. XRP, it went down to, what was it, $2.10? So it would make sense, if you're looking at a graph, it would make sense that you would have bought in to XRP over the 3-4 days ago, in the last 3-4-5-6 days. That would make good sense. Speaking of good sense, wasn't it Netflix that split 10-1? They went down to a buy zone. If you were doing stock market trading, you had all kinds of opportunity to make money over the last 3-4-5 business days, stock market days. So EV Place says it got down as low as 180. Now, I saw it at 210-ish, 210. It said 2.1, whatever, 0. I thought it was a good time to buy at that point. I did not get in at 180 or back. That would have been nice. I've been busy. So I figured I would just take that because I'm anticipating it to be over my two now 205 dollar cost average. So it'll probably go back up when crypto goes back. So it'll be a beautiful thing. Now, all of those who did not buy at 80 something, 83,000, 84, 86, 80, well, maybe at 86 right now. Um, I don't know what you're waiting on. Let me give somebody history if you haven't been around during the crypto movement. Crypto at one time, I believe, if I remember right, was around 55, 60,000. It was roaring up there. And then all of a sudden, it went down to 50, 40, 30, 20. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. From around 55, 60 down to 20. That's $40,000 difference. People were shouting. All of the haters of crypto was going, see, I told you. And of course, people were hitting the eject button. It went all the way down to 17, 16, somewhere in there, 1,000. And at that particular time, we were back then saying, okay, if you're not going to buy now, then what are you waiting for? And then it started going back up to what we had the all-time high this year of 125, 126, but that was 3 or 4 years ago. So here now we have another almost I guess it is 40,000 drop. And are you still going to sit on the sidelines again? I hope not. I hope not. Oh, damn. I missed. Oh, you're saying your average is at 1.45. Netflix at 106 right now. Yeah. Uh, that's about where it went. I think it split at about 110, 111, somewhere like that. And it went down to 103. I think it was 103. Quite frankly, the funny part, EV Place, is I'm pretty sure my dollar cost average is lower if I can go back into my wallet where I have like a couple thousand XRP. Again, this wallet stuff back in the day, I got to admit, I'm not a good keeper of the wallets back in the day. Um, I mean, I'm just not. I've got all kind of crypto sitting all over the place that I have no access to. I don't think it's crazy. I might still have access to my XRP, but I have Bitcoin and Ethereum I have no access to. In past cycles, BTC dropped 7 times by 40%. Nothing unusual. Exactly. That's what I was getting at. Nothing unusual, but it gave people an opportunity to get in at minus 40%. So again, that 120, I think it was 126. You know what? And now it's at 86. That's 40,000 drop. That's about, that has to be like almost a 50%. It's not 50%. Let me see something. 126 times 0.6 is 75. So 40% would have dropped it to 75. So it dropped to about 30, which is still good, right? That's still good. I don't know how you don't buy at this particular time. And like he said, all 7 times, I'm pretty sure, went back up positive. All right. But what it did do was it sweeped out some margin calls. Just saying. Because some people were buying against or borrowing against it. So, hey, it is what it is. All right. Let's get into some more of this, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why I was talking about this Bitcoin is twofold. There has come to my attention about a Visa crypto debit card. And I said, yeah, I know I've messed with some of these before, but this particular one is called Bancus. I posted some of this last week, and people have been using the card in the United States. It gets shipped to the United States. The reason I mention this is because there's a lot of people that trade in the stock market, futures, options, and they use brokers that you can use fiat or crypto. The one thing is, these brokers are oftentimes regulated, right? So that's fair enough. Some brokers are not. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Um, I'll give you a perfect example. And I lost my train of thought because I saw something about the pullback on 116. So forgive me. I lost my train of thought. I was going to use an example for something. Maybe it'll come back to me. But what I was trying to say is it has to do with this Bancus card. Oh, I know what it was. Here's the Bancus card for Apple, not card. It's the download. If you want to buy the card, the reason why I know what it was, the brokers. If the thing is the card, just download this right now. That's all I'm saying. It's the affiliate link. We'll get into that in a second. But Coinbase, for instance, is not a broker that is authorized in the United States, right? It's not. What do you call it? Uh, it's not regulated, right? What's happening here? It's not regulated. So that means it's offshore. I like offshore. Again, you guys know I used to play online poker in the 2000s, 2003 to 2011 probably, or 10. But online was 2004 through about 2009, whenever they did Black Friday. So I've been through this scenario before where the United States government said, oh no, all these poker rooms are offshore. You're sending money to them. It's not regulated in the United States. So we're going to have to block any transaction. So what did they do? We used to be able to load up our debit and credit cards and wire money and all that. Well, the United States banking system, they know how to block. They put in codes that won't allow the transactions to occur. So they blocked United States citizens using that method. But the method they couldn't block, Bitcoin just started coming out. And so nobody knew what it was. So we were experimenting with it. And that's why I have mine locked up. $10 worth of Bitcoin in whenever Black Friday was, 2009 or 2010, whenever it was. I tried to test. I got $10 of Bitcoin at, like I told you guys before, 3 cents or 30 cents. All I remember, it said 0.3. I didn't care about the number. I cared that it was $10. So I was testing to see if I could actually send it to an online poker room because they started accepting crypto, because obviously the United States government can't block that. So I purchased this string a number thing, and I knew it was $10. So I tried to submit it to an online poker room. Well, because it was so new and relatively weird, it didn't work. So my $10 didn't get there. It's still sitting in whatever wallet it was, which wasn't called wallet at the time, but you had a string of numbers and whatever. So it's whatever the wallet is. I don't even know. But the point is, it never went anywhere. But it's locked up because I don't have the string of numbers or anything. There was no wallet, so to speak, but it's in a wallet somewhere, and I got the info and I can't find it. But one of these days, when I go into storage and move wherever I ultimately end up living, then I will have access to my office, and then I will go through with a fine tooth comb, because that's like millions of dollars. The point I'm trying to make, though, is the United States government couldn't do jack squat about that. But again, it didn't go through for me, but other people it did. So I never got to go past that. But the other part was, they can block my card. They can, my debit and credit cards. They could, for me to upload, they could block my wires. They can block the Western Union. What couldn't they block? They couldn't block incoming wires on the Swift system. Number one, incoming wires on a Swift system, because it's a Swift bank to a Swift bank in the US. No codes to block that from a legitimate source. So what they started doing was they go, oh, anything from Malta, suspect, can't accept it, bank, stuff like that, right? But what they could not block was NetTeller and a few other cards that were manufactured in the other countries that they would send to American players. So now, outside of USA jurisdiction, not regulated by the United States, they would just load my winnings onto my card. Not a USA prepaid debit card. No, no, no. Another country. So now I'm in America. I can go to the bank, swipe. I can use it as a Visa card or MasterCard, can't remember which one. Swipe or go banking and say I need a couple $1,000s. USA couldn't do a damn thing. Why do I bring this up? Because the CoinEx, since they're not regulated by the United States, they use crypto to accept payments and send payments. So I was talking with somebody and I said, you know what? The only way I can load money is I have to go through a regulated exchange in the United States. I talked about this on Saturday night live stream. But just so everybody here can understand, I go to Coinbase, I send money to CoinEx. After I do some trading and I win some money, I don't have to send it back to Coinbase using crypto. I can send it to my Bancus Visa debit card that is not inside the USA. So I was running this by a person and they said, no, Eric, it's traceable. I said, how? First of all, traceable is only because Coinbase has my information. I had to give them my ID. I had to give them information. That's the only reason. And once I use my wallet and I do the transaction, yes, the transaction itself shows up on the crypto hash. So it tells you X amount of whatever crypto got sent to another crypto address. The address you sent it to is unknown, unless, of course, somebody said they have it and they told people, but otherwise it's anonymous. You are going to know I sent it, not you people, but the government would know if they ever went to Coinbase and said, okay, who does this belong to? They'll say, Eric Bird, he has that address. Then they go look at the other person. They go, well, do you know who the other person is? Or they signed up with you? They say, no. Okay. So they know it went to this. Now they have to start doing other stuff if they want to find out the identity of the other person. But what happens after your winnings on Coinbase or CoinNext that's not regulated in the United States, and you send money to another wallet that is not with Coinbase? And did I mention this most important part? Rotating every 24 hours is the wallet address that they use to send out. And they only send out. They don't receive on the same wallet address. So their wallet address is anonymous, so to speak. But when I send crypto to my Bancus card, it terminates there. No KYC, not regulated. And now, how would anybody know when I'm using my Visa debit card anything in America? Asking for all of you. Maybe somebody will watch and see this and be going, oh, I work for the feds. I know what we're gonna. No, you're not gonna do anything. Yeah, I'm not even worried. There's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do in America is you can block me from sending money out of my Coinbase account. That's all you can do. After it leaves and goes into cryptosphere, you can't do nothing. All right. Um, so anyhow, that's why I gave you guys the Bancus link. Go there, sign. I gave you the CoinX link just because other brokers use crypto too. It's not like they're the only ones. I'm not trying to avoid anything, just letting people know. I was just giving you an idea on transactions. PRT for everyday purchases. I'm using Gemini and collecting crypto as cash back. Exactly. Nothing wrong with that. I like it. I like it. I like it. Here we go. Here we go. I thought Visa card had to be regulated somehow. Thanks, Eric. I will research. Yes. Visa, MasterCard, electronics are regulated. You know, when you go get a prepaid card, does it have your name on it? The Visa transaction is an electronic system regulated around the world to be able to allow you to use whatever's on your card for a Visa transaction. They do not regulate you like a credit card. You sign up for a credit card, they have your information, your name's on the card. You go get a prepaid card, are you actually signing up for anything? You can check out at any store and get a prepaid card. You can hand that card to anybody and they can use it. The only thing that's trackable is transactions if somebody actually knew the card number. If you don't know the card number, it's not you can't trace the transaction. But you are correct. They are. But it's a network, their own networks. It has nothing to do with prepaid cards or debit cards, and especially when there's no name on the card, just like a prepaid card. Because that's all you're doing. You're just loading up your card. Think of it in that sense. So you can go down right now and to any store, get a prepaid card with the Visa or MasterCard logo, load it up, give it to anybody on the street. When that person goes to use it, that is not trackable. The transaction itself is trackable because it sends signals on the back of the strip, right? So, but there's billions of transactions a day. So unless it's involved with a robbery and they're doing something where they're like, this guy did this transaction on the film, okay, they might be able to come up with suspects. But I'm not talking about anything illegal anyhow, but it doesn't matter. All I'm trying to suggest is protection of your hard earned money is what I'm referring to here. Magic word, prepaid. That is correct. So the winnings that you load, the Bancus card is not a credit card, it's a crypto debit card with the Visa logo. So when you load it, it's your money. You loaded it. Now, I will have to say this, of course. This is why it's so cool. It's because nobody knows anything about how much you loaded or sent down, except one person or one company. And they're the only ones that can talk. Not saying I need to worry about that. All I'm saying is, from a perspective of my duffel bag of cash, that nobody knows where it's sitting at, I prefer that than a government who's gone rogue, who's going to need to take people's money in order to survive. I don't want them taking mine. I don't mind them having to look a little bit harder if they're going to try. But I damn sure ain't going to have it sitting in the damn bank. for them to be like, ah, thank you very much. Them days are over. All right. So that's what we're talking about. EV place, that's a great strategy. Goal is to use the card for anything and everything. That's exactly right. Visas wherever you want to be. MasterCard, wherever you want to be. So, and by the way, that also means you have no borders. Just keep this in mind. See, my thing is no borders. So, all the cards that you have in your wallet that is in the United States, right? They can be shut off. All right? It's that simple. They don't even need your name. If they say, hey, we don't want anybody to use credit, they'll just shut it all off. The system's shut down. Your cards don't work. Has anybody ever went to the bank and they went to an ATM and their card didn't work because the system was out? This has happened a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. So some of you might know what I'm referring to. What did it feel like when you put your card in and you needed to get some money out and it's like, I'm sorry, this ATM does not work. Come back in 4 hours or whatever it said. Then you go to another one. This happened to me in Atlanta. I went down to Chase Bank around the corner and went there to the ATM. It said, oh, sorry, we're down for a minute. I said, oh, okay, it's probably down, but there's another one less than a mile away. So I'll go down there. I get down to the other one. Guess what? Sorry, we're down. I'm like, wait, let me Google. Chase Bank outage. I was like, what? And in my mind, I'm like, testing, testing. That's in my mind. Now, this happened like a year ago or whatever. But all I'm trying to say is, what does it feel like if you go to the ATM or the bank and they say, I'm sorry, you can't access your funds? If it hasn't happened to you, then you'll just have to imagine. So now you understand the duffel bag of cash. You also may understand why I look at things a little differently and I say I want my money outside of United States, just like the rich guys who do offshore banking, offshore businesses, offshore. Think about it. All right. Danger, Americans. I'm trying to help you guys understand you don't know where you think you live. The only problem is I do. That's why I've always been like the guy that the government's been like, hey, man, you talk too much. All right, let's go. Well, government, you guys F with me too much in my younger days. Let's just put it that way. All right. You guys were doing some dirt. Hey, speaking of dirt, you guys ever know? I'll just ask somebody something. Hey, who can change your birth date on your social security card, which your birthday's not on your social security card? First things first, right? If you're a US citizen, or even if you're not, you may have a social security card if you have an I-10 or something. But you're a US citizen, you have a social security card. Your birth date from the time of your birth being recorded is associated with whenever you get your social security card, right? So you go along your whole life and you always write on your applications your birth date. You fill out everything, social security numbers, whenever you apply for something, and your birth date. Can anybody tell me who can change the name? I mean, not name. Who can change the date of your birth date? Do we have any winners? All right, let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Danger, Americans. I want to hear if anybody can tell me who's going to change your birth date on your social security card. So when you get in your 60s and you decide to go for your retirement or your Medicare and all this stuff, what if your birth date has been changed all along? And if your birth date has been changed, then when you applied for loans and credit cards and other things, and people are saying, I need to see some ID, and you're thinking, oh, yeah, this is normal, right? Oh, they needed to extra verify and all this stuff while you're going through life. Wouldn't you be like going, man, something's weird? Brian P. Ding, ding, ding. The government can. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now you understand when I start researching and saying, hey, I think I want to take some retirement funds. I think I want to start checking into some Social Security activity. So they said, Eric, you could sign up in the system. I said, really? All right, let me go sign up. So I put in my name, my Social Security number, and my birth date. I get an error. And I was like, okay, hold on. That does say 14 right there for my date of birth. That does say July. That does say my year. What the? Wait, is my Social Security? That's my Social Security number is correct. Wait, did I mess up my name? My name's correct. It says we can't even do nothing. I said, oh man, this is funny. This is weird. I said, okay. I guess I'll call up I'll play. Let me call up the Social Security and see what's going on. So I call up Social Security and say, hey, I got a problem. I can't log into the website for checking my status and future stuff and whatever you guys are talking about. They said, well, let us have your info. I give them my info. They said, oh no, Mr. Bird, uh, we need some more information. Maybe you should come down to the office. I was like, what? What are you talking about right now? You need to bring your birth certificate. Excuse me? Your birthday's not the 14th of the month. Excuse me? Um, that's what I've been using my whole life. It's never been an issue. Well, it's an issue now, Mr. Bird. That's not your birth date. Excuse me? Oh, okay. This ought to be good. So I go down to the Social Security office with my birth certificate. So, to Brian P.'s point, the guy comes, sits down, and I say, hey, man, riddle me this. Who can change my birth date? He says, what do you mean? I said, oh, I'm sorry. Here's my information. You can see my birth date is not correct. He says, yes, Mr. Bird. Yeah, the birth date we have is not the one on your birth certificate. I said, oh my God. I'm half-ass joking, half-ass having fun with it. But the thing is, I realize the government has interfered. So I say, hey man, so when did this get changed? He says, 1992. And I said exactly what I just asked now. Who can change everything? And obviously it's the government. Now, remember I told you guys I've been involved with the government shenanigans before. But this was an all-time, this is rich. So in 1992, the government went in, changed my birth date. What does that do, ladies and gentlemen? You know, when you apply for stuff and things don't make sense. Well, see, I've been very, very lucky because I always had my own thing going on. I always had a little cash flow. So it didn't really matter if my credit limit was 3 grand, 2 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand. Never really mattered because that never was a thing. But I always wondered with my credit score, how come they would always come back with these, oh, sir, you're qualified for 2,500. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I just need it because I'm going on a trip and I'm going to St. Martin. So therefore, I'm going to get a rent a car. So I needed just a card over there because they're doing this crazy stuff. If I want to get a rent a car, charging me $1,500 as a deposit. And I don't trust them. So I'm getting a new thing that has nothing to do with anything previously. But little did I know this whole time after 1992, when I was going for my loans, when I was going for stuff and people were acting weird, calling on phones about stuff, and people would be like, hey, man, we need to see some other identification. I'm thinking, okay, whatever, it's the process. Wrong. The government changed my birth date in 1992. So when you think that you live in a country that you think know is what's going on, if you're one of those that they want to mess around with because you're special, and seeing what's happening now in America, how they can kidnap US citizens, ship them off outside the country, put them in a concentration camp. I hope you guys understand that's danger, America. They've already been effing with people, but I didn't know about this latest thing. So this whole time since 1992, when I've been getting, hey, we need you to send in documents, you're not verified. Now I know why. So we're talking 92, 2002, 2012, 2020. That's over 30 years, ladies and gentlemen, that the government slyly jacked me up because our system runs on credit verifications and opening up accounts. So I've been giving them my regular birth date. They've been asking me for my stuff. My ID say the 14th. Everything says there's never a time. And then I find out the federal government actually changed my birth date. And the only reason you do that is because then you know what happens after that. So everything after that doesn't match up when I'm doing anything with the government, loans, anything. So that explains why I would get these weird, sorry, Mr. Bird, we need your ID. We need your passport. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? Yeah. So anyhow, now you guys may understand why I look at things totally different. From banks stealing stuff in the 80s to now finding out in the 90s the government changed my birth date, which now meant why I always had these weird encounters. And people never believed me when I told you guys I was on the most wanted list. Still am. But I'm much older now. I'm not the big dog. And the worst thing that ever happens is when you do legitimate business and the government says, you're hurting our billionaires and millionaires. Oh, we got to change the rules. We can't allow this. This dude's kicking our ass. It's a loophole. We better close it. Let's them bribe our senators. I told you guys a story before. Let's bribe some senators to make a new law so this dude, we got to shut this down. He's kicking our ass. Yeah, not so crazy. But now I find this out 30 years later, obviously. So I didn't know nothing about it. That's how crazy this is. And this whole time, when like I say, you can imagine this, ladies and gentlemen, when you got your home loans or you were getting credit cards and whatever. And all those times they would always say, oh, so for me, it's normal. Oh, Mr. Bird, you need to send in some other verification. I was thinking that was normal. Now I find out the only reason they ever said that was all my IDs was matching up with my app. So they probably were like, okay, whatever. He's good. But the problem is when it comes to those credit files and things like that, there's a discrepancy. So now am I the scammer or somebody else the scammer? That's what it would appear, right? It would appear I'm using somebody else's information instead of my own. So that would explain why credit card companies, loan up officers, loan people would be like, hey, I need some other identification. I thought that was the norm. Little did I know these guys went in. And yes, I was with, like I told you guys before, the federal government. They're no joke. They're no joke. And come to find out, these guys did that in the time I was dealing with the feds. That is funny stuff. Funny stuff. But guess what? That didn't stop me. All right, let's go. Danger, Americans. Once again, you don't know where you live. So that's why I did the Bancus. If you have a Apple card, it kind of is cumbersome to get the app on your phone. If you have Android, it's very easy. I can't explain the Apple thing. Apple works a different way. You just have to follow the instructions. All I know is I saw somebody with an Apple phone, and when it was ready to download, or when you had to download it up at top, there was something like a blue wording. I don't know if it said download or whatever. They clicked on that to download it after they got to that certain level. I just don't remember. But get your Bancus card. It doesn't, oh, wait, it does cost. I forgot. The plastic card is $35. One time fee, no annual fee, by the way. We love that, just like Unstoppable Domain, no annual fees. And they do have a metal card, which the metal card doesn't do the tap, right? You can't have that tap feature. But that's $85 shipped to you in America. It's $75 plus 10 for shipping. It's $35 plus 10 for shipping for the plastic card. Now, the other part, which I completely forget about because I'm not looking at it like a business thing. Um, I'm I'm sitting there like thinking protection. That's what I'm thinking. And again, that's the way I look at it. When you're on America's Most Wanted list for 40 years, it's kind of rough, you know? All right, let's go. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wrap this up. All right. We'll talk about some more things on Wednesday. But the Bancus card is because you can send your crypto that you can earn outside of America, crypto that you can earn inside of America using unregulated platforms. Now, unregulated platforms mean you're taking a risk. Let's just get real. Okay. If something's unregulated, that means it's risky. So you could always lose. So that's why you download your winnings post haste. When you win, you download. Why keep it there? Right? Is that interesting? Yes. There you go. Number one, you are correct. Outside of America. But that's not the most important part. The most important part is currently no KYC. That's the most important part. I'm always down with no KYCs. That is it. That is it with other locations as well. That is it. It's in Mexico. So basically, they're running a debit. Okay, let me explain. The way I look at it is you're just basically running a prepaid debit card where you can download crypto to it. That's all it is. That's all it is, the way I look at it. And so, yes, I'm going to utilize it. And the other feature I should point out, yeah. I don't even want to get into this because I don't really care about that. They do have a money making component to this. Yes. If everybody has a link after you sign up where you can share the info. But that is not my thing. My thing is I don't want the United States government holding anything of mine that has anything to do with money. Um, they aren't. I would, you know what? Let me let me let me hold on a second. I just realized okay, I'll do this. I'll do this. Every 2 o'clock Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern, I think there's a live stream. But again, I don't really care about this. You refer people, you get like a percentage of what they buy the card for. I don't really care about that. But if you do care about that by sharing it and making money, you make money on a reload and a little percentage point or something. It's not even 1 point, so whatever. Here, I'll shoot you guys. Let me see if I can find the Zoom. Let's see if I even have it. I think I do. The password's Eagle1 every time. So yeah, let me see. Where's the Zoom? Here it is. Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. So okay, twice a week. That's good. But that again, it's nothing. But I want you guys to understand, America is bleeding money. Inflation numbers are not really the inflation numbers. So keep all of that. What is going on here? Keep all of that in mind when you're thinking about. That's not good. This is not good. All right, I gotta do some things real quick, but I mean, I'm trying to get this to you guys, so you'll have the Zoom. Uh, yeah, I did send that. So I just want you guys to understand when a country goes down and they run out of money, they start confiscating gold, silver, or start making deals. Give us the gold so we can get our treasury back up. That's what happened in the 1930s. I'm not saying this is going to be what happens now because we have a Federal Reserve that just prints money. They don't really care about the repercussions, but the repercussions are going to be bricks. Bricks is going to be a problem because the rest of the world is like, we're tired of you guys being able to print money, being trillions of dollars in debt, and then trying to rule the world and tell us what to do. So more countries are joining BRICS. So then you can't do an embargo. You can't stop any transactions like they do kind of now. So BRICS just said, we're fed up. And again, I tell you guys the number that matters. The BRICS countries have more than half of the world's population under their belt. So, uh, so we'll find out about all of that, or you'll find out. But all I'm saying is you got to be very careful out here. You don't live in a free system. That system is shrinking, in my opinion. So you're going to have to protect yourself in a myriad of ways. Speaking of that, you need to get your trust together. Any assets you want to protect from trust, because a lot of people do not realize that if you get sick, from EV Play says, from Revolut card, you can withdraw money in DR from few ATMs with no transaction fee. That's cool. Um, that's cool. That, but yeah, that's cool. So I am going to give you guys Tuesday. Tuesday. What is this? Hold on a second. I got some. This thing says my Atlanta flight. What is this? Oh, okay. All right. I was about to say, don't tell me I messed up and made a flight for Atlanta. All right. So we're trying to get this. You can find out about the Bancus stuff Tuesdays, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to put a link in the chat room. And I guess I'm going to have to put this uh, in the description box down below in case anybody's interested. I just think it's prudent just to have another, even if don't do anything, it's probably prudent to have money outside the United States. That's why I always say you should have real estate outside the US or a business, definitely a bank account. Um, those are like mandatory keys that you should do. Um, so check it out. And I do have it. So that means hopefully this is in the chat room. If you guys want to hit the Zoom tomorrow or Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, there it is. It came up that way because it is what it is. Password Eagle1. So everybody listening on podcasts, it's a capital E, but unfortunately AGLE1, the number one. But you will not be able to get that Zoom link. So let me give you the Zoom number. It's 880-306158. 880-306158. And Eagle One is with a capital E. EAGLE1, like the number one. So if you want to go check it out, that's fine. But more importantly, you just buy the card, you're in. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to, this is not a network marketing. It's not anything like that. You just buy the card, go on about your business, or you can share your link with other people like how I'm doing and go on about your business. All right. So let me see if I put in the Bancus. I'll do it one more time. Oh, first, I got to add this now that I'm thinking about it. I put the grants first. I put the crypto. Okay, we'll do it this way. Let's see how this looks. I don't like how that looks. Yeah, I guess it's going to look like that. Bancus, crypto, debit, card. I guess they call it presentation. Okay. I guess I'm going to have this down. Password Eagle. I guess I have it down below. Okay. I need to do something in the background. Let me know what you guys are thinking out there. I'm about to end this. All right. Oh, wait, I did something else. Yeah, I'm about to end this live stream. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday night, I hope. And we'll get into some other factors. We got to get into some other money making factors, right? That's just the way it has to be. I don't want you guys out here, not having an ability to at least earn additional from different sources. Here, possibly some people will take this on, right? And they'll say, okay, I'll promote this and make money that way. That's a possibility. Maybe I will join you. I don't know. But I'm going to tell people I would highly advise at least get the card so you have it. And yes, you can load fiat if you want to. But, I'm not caring about that at the moment. Because I'm loading up crypto for trading. I'm downloading crypto for trading, but I'm not going to be downloading it inside the USA no more. It's that simple. Oh, I haven't got my card yet because I didn't really want the metal card because it's not a tap card. And I don't care if it clangs I care about feature. So I wanted to tap. So the plastic card, as of Friday of last week, was sold out, which is the $35 card plus 10, which makes it $45. The metal card's 85, but it doesn't have that. And it hasn't gotten stuck in the ATM machines or anything like that because people have been testing it out that have it here in America. But the point is, I didn't really want to pay $85 for a card that I don't really care about. It's just like a regular old card as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if it's metal. But if you want one, metal one, you can order that now. Um, so everybody download the app down below in the description box. You'll see the link for the Bancus app. And then once you get the app, you can actually order the card. The $85 one is still there. In fact, hold on, let me just go look. I'm doing things on demand, so we'll make it happen. What's the I need Bancus. Okay, here goes. Obviously, they have login infos, login stuff. So you can use PIN or biometrics. All right. Let me know what you guys are thinking, if anything. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Oh, this one. What if they will add KYC and ask for Mexican DL? They won't. It's not a bank. It's a business, and the owner was on a call, and he just said, "No, it's not going to be KYC." If they do, well, hey, it is what it is. Just have another card offshore. See you Wednesday. Thank you so much. And everybody, I forgot, but we still have people watching. And let me see, I went that long. Okay. This will be on the podcast, iHeart, and a few others. So we do have to talk about renewable energy. And EV Place has his company that helps with car speakers. Your car, you want crispy, clean sound? How about renewable energy sound so you're not running your battery down or abusing your battery? I should put it that way. And you have 1 hour, 2 hours, or more uninterrupted music that you can play on the Sunday afternoon at the park. I know a lot of you don't know nothing about that. But when you're chilling and you got that sweet sound system in your ride because you got the clean energy, clean power, crispy, and you just want to show it off, then this is the man. EV Place. Go to eBay. I put the link in the chat room if you want to upgrade your sound system and have it renewable. So you can sit for an hour or two without having to run your battery down. How about that? You see it in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. Go show some love. He's part of the SSN Nation. We show love for members and people of the SSN Nation, especially when you have a business. And that also means it's getting chilly out here, ladies and gentlemen. You have to go to beachfrontjava.com. Professor Auntie Val and family. We got to show some love. And by the way, I'm partial to the campfire brew because it has a little bit of chocolate in it. All right. So those are a couple of them. The chat has eBay. Go to eBay, see the system, contact him, and then you get to have a special car system in the back trunk. Or he even does home. I don't know the home feature, but you guys can hash that out. So go check it out. And it's inexpensive too, relatively speaking. A lot of you out there right now have these $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 systems, and you're powering it up a certain way. How if you power it up a renewable way? So every time you drive your car, you're powering up renewable energy sources. And you're on demand all the time. So you can sit in your car waiting on somebody 10, 15, 20, 30, 45 an hour. You're good. You're not running down your battery. I used to be out there at the auction in Roseville auction when I had the Dish Network business, and I used an inverter back then. You would hook up the power to your 12-volt battery, use an inverter. But do you think I could run that all day? Hell no. So I had Dish Network in the middle of the auction. But sooner or later, yeah, it'll run until I try to start the car because I'm no longer above 12 volts. You won't have that problem with EV Place. So go check them out, ladies and gentlemen. Sweet sound, crispy sound. He's using inductors. So again, that's why I put it in the chat room, because this is something that people should use and possibly need. Says appreciate it. You're welcome, man. No problem. All right. And you guys heard the other beachfrontjava.com. Go get your winter brew. She has over 20 varieties and some tea as well. So go over there, show some love. All right. It's that simple. All right. I love you guys very much. I got to wrap this up. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And it's only going to get harder as they squeeze you. That's right. You're going to get squeezed if you're not making investments. If you haven't made plans or starting to make plans, even now, you can get away from whatever's going to happen. But you're going to need money, because you're going to most likely need health care. If you're not on the health is wealth kick, you will get sick. And even if you are on the health is wealth kick, you never know what's in water, what's in oils, what's in the air. That's right. Air has toxins in it. You're breathing it in. Everybody's body acts differently. Some creates tumors. Some creates organ failures where you have to go get pills. Either way, don't play with your health, ladies and gentlemen, because that is a costly proposition. And who knows if you're going to have the coverage. DIM Pals, another investor is shown up in the house. I'm pretty sure he's been loving life with his option trading with the Yield Max ETF since they did go down. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening. I smashed that like button. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate the love. And he says, have a great night. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you're not doing anything to get yourself in a situation where you can be self-sufficient financially, I suggest you start getting a little bit more momentum toward that goal. And one thing that I know for sure that I started learning was trading. And the reason why, that's why I put CoinEx in there. That's the broker I use. I have an Autobot. Yes, I don't use it, but I plan on using it. I haven't used the Autobot in a minute, because once I understood the candles, I know what I'm looking at. I started saying, well, I can just trade myself. I use it when the market's going down. This is true. But if it's not trending downward, I'm not using the Autobot. I'm just saying it what it is. I just think from what I've seen with it, that's the best result has been when the market's trending down. So if it's not, I don't have to, even if it's going down, but that's going down only for like a 3-minute, 4-minute cycle. After that, it starts ticking back up or whatever it does, sideways trends. But either way, I need the up and I need the down. I don't need them interfering, right? I don't need to lose money any other way. So that's the point. I want you guys to start being able to make your money. If you don't have Airbnbs already set up, then you need to get something else set up. You need a skill that's not going to rely on your boss, not going to rely on you getting a W-2 or a 1099. You need to rely on your skill set, because you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but I will tell you this. You will be prepared if something does happen. There's a lot of danger points that's happening here in America financially, and people are talking about it, but it goes unseen because you get to still go to the grocery store. You don't go there and there's store shelves are empty. See, that's the thing. I'll get you Wednesday for the options trading. Exactly, DIM Pals. Let me know. Okay. I'll appreciate that. So again, this is why there's an alarm going off and there's people sleepwalking because they're working 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours, trying to make ends meet. Both parents have to work. Or you're panicked because you don't work, got laid off, and now you're panicking about where the meals are coming from, how the electricity is going to be paid. That's what we're dealing with here in America. This is like 1929, 30 all over again. This is also 2006, 7 all over again. Michael Burry, the guy from The Big Short, known because of the Great Recession, he now has made another Big Short on the AI bubble, is what he's calling it. He's betting against it rising more, which is incredible cojones. He's got some big balls to be doing this. The reason I say this is because we are not, what happened before is one thing. What we're in now is manipulation of the market in the likes you've never seen, because you have the government backing Nvidia, Apple, AMD, and Oracle, Tesla. I mean, Microsoft. The government actively backs them to win. They give them the government contracts. They give them the subsidies, even though they give other corporations this too. But the fact is, these guys get more than anybody else. And they're leaders. Amazon. So people say, I want cloud. Other corporations go, I want cloud. I can't afford to build it out. Oh, let me go get Amazon or Microsoft or Apple. So they're getting money sent up to them because they're the holders of certain things that the other companies need, and they can't foot the bill. That's why Nvidia and the AI situation is so huge, because it is a bubble, because they're all making money, buying from Nvidia, buying from AMD, buying from Microsoft, buying from each other, and then buying their own shares of stock. And the government gives them money, picking them as winners. Nvidia shows up, Apple shows up at the White House with gifts. They say, oh, we're going to waive the tariffs for your company because of the gifts and the bribery. And we're going to take 15% of your money. You're going to give it to the government, right? Oh, yeah, we're good with that. And here's a gift. We are in a third world country situation. So again, protect yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Be safe out here, because you never know. People are getting kidnapped and they're U.S. citizens. So be very, very careful out here. All right. And I don't mean by bad guys. I mean by the government, which are bad guys, masked up. All I'm going to leave you is with this. If somebody shows up at your front door, 3-4 people wearing a vest, it says police, they cover up their face, have no warrant, no ID, no nothing, what are you going to think? You're going to think they're the police? Or are you going to think what? I don't think they're the police. I'm just saying. So you might, and when you step out that door, or they'll bust your door down, come in and grab you and tell you your ID is no good, your real ID is no good, your passport is fake. And by the way, since you're trying to defend yourself against some mass people claiming they're ICE or DHS or police, you're fighting them off, and they're going to try and throw you in jail if they are them. So far, a couple of people they tried to throw in jail. It didn't happen, but that doesn't mean everybody gets off. Be careful out there. All right. And keep your locations, addresses, and everything else under wraps. I can't be roaming around no more telling you guys where I'm at. Them days are over. I mean, come on, man. This is getting crazy out here. All right. Protect yourselves. And with all that said, make sure no matter what you do out here, keep your head up, keep moving. And I'm out.